Hi mathematicians, it's Miss Johnson. Today we are going to be practicing ordering decimals. We have some different types of word problems here for us to practice and try together. So remember, when we order decimals, we want to line up our place values. We do that by lining up our decimals, and then we place them in order by comparing each place value. Okay, so we're going to look at question number 1. Jamara's cat just had kittens. She weighed each one on her mom's kitchen scale. So we analyze our chart and we see that we have the kittens' names and then we have the kittens' weights. I notice that all of the weights are in pounds, so I know that I can just compare them this way. I don't have to change anything. Then the question says, which kitten is the heaviest? So I think, okay, the heaviest, is that the lightest kitten? No, the heaviest kitten. So is that the least or the greatest? Is heaviest the least or the greatest? Yeah, it's the greatest. So I'm looking for the greatest weight or the biggest weight. Okay, so when I come over here, I know they're all in pounds. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put an S for socks, and I'm going to put 2 and 69 thousandths. And then midnight is 2 and 6 tenths. Roxy 1 and 9 tenths. I already know Roxy's not going to be the greatest because Roxy is only 1 and both of these are 2. So I know Roxy's definitely not going to be it. I'm going to cross Roxy out. Tiger is 2 and 68 hundredths. And then Sunshine, I'm just going to put a Sunshine, is 2 and 54 hundredths. So I'm looking at just socks, midnight, tiger, and sunshine because Roxy's out, because Roxy's smaller, because she only has 1 pound and these all have 2. I'm going to go ahead and make my place value the same. So tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So I'm going to make all my place value thousandths so that I can compare them easy, right? So again, I'm looking for the greatest. The heaviest is the greatest. So 2 and 69 thousandths. 2 and 600 thousandths. Well, 600 thousandths is definitely more than 69 thousandths. 2 and 680 thousandths, or 2 and 540 thousandths. Looking for the greatest, so which one of those would be the greatest? 600, 680, or 540? Yeah, 680. So 2 and 680 thousandths would be the heaviest, which is T, which is tiger. So tiger is the heaviest. Okay, let's look at number 2 together. Number 2 says Krishan has 5 pieces of string. He measures each string. They measure 2 and 3/10 inches, 4 inches, 2 and 25/100 inches, 3 and 4/10 inches, and 3 and 36/100 inches. If he put them in order from longest to shortest, what would the length of the second string be? Okay, so I'm looking at the words longest to shortest, and I'm thinking, okay, is that least to greatest or greatest to least? What are they asking me to put these lengths in order from? So think about that for a second. The longest length to the shortest length. Yeah, that would be greatest to least. Go ahead and write that big so that you can remember it's asking you to go from the greatest to the least. I'm going to go ahead and write my decimals out in order. Well, not in order, but order that they give me. So 2 and 3/10, 4 inches. So 4 is in the ones place. And then 0, there's 0 tenths and 0 hundredths. So 2 and 25 hundredths. 3 and 4/10, and last 3 and 36 hundredths. All right, hundredths is the place value I want all of my numbers to be in. And then I'm putting it in order from greatest to least. So you look at your biggest place value first, right? Which is 1s, and 4 is the largest, so 4 would be the greatest. And 2s or 3s. 3s would be next, so 3 and 40 hundredths or 3 and 36 hundredths. Remember, we're going from greatest to least. So 3 and 40 or 3 and 36/100. 40. Remember, write it as the original decimal is, not with the unnecessary 0. Okay, and then the 2 and 30/100 or 2 and 25/100. Remember what order you're putting it in, greatest to least. So 30 is greater than 25, so 2 and 3/10 will be next, and then, okay, so if you put them in order from longest to shortest or greatest to least, what would be the length of the second string? So this would be first, this one would be second, so our second string is 3 and 4/10. Right, number 3 is a little bit different thought process on ordering. So it says, which of the following numbers has a value between 1 and 3/10 and 1 and 367 thousandths? So which one of these goes between this? Okay, some kids get confused with what this means right here, between. So let's just think about this for a second. Like if we had a number line, right? And I went 0, 1, 1, Miss Johnson, not 2. And I said, well, what is this value? What is in between 1 and 3? Yeah, you would say 2, right? Well, what's right in between 1 and 2? 1.5. What's in between 2 and 3? What right in between, right in the middle? It would be 2.5, right? So in between means it has to go, like 2 would be the least value, 3 would be the greatest value. There's a bunch of numbers in between there, right? That fall in the middle. So we're looking for a number over here that falls in the middle of 1 and 3/10 and 1 and 367 thousandths. Okay? Now we can think about the strategies that we've used already, right? We write our numbers horizontally, we line up our place value, we put our zeros so that we can see the place value all the same. Well, we can use that same strategy here with this. So we know that this is the least and this is the greatest. So I'm going to go ahead and put the least, and then I'm going to put the greatest. I'm going to go ahead and make this one the same place value. So I have 1 and 300 thousandths and 1 and 367 thousandths. And I want to see if 1 and 3/37 will fit in there. So I'm going to put it in between. I'm going to see if that will go in order from least to greatest. So if I go from least to greatest, is that in order? Do we say 1 and 300 thousandths, 1 and 370, and then 1 and 367? So do you go 300, 370, 367? Is that in order? No, that's not in order. This one's bigger than this one. 70 is more than 67. So A is not correct. Okay, so we're going to do that with each one of the answer choices to figure out which one goes in between. Some of them are easier than others, like this one. Right? Do we go 300, 250, 367? No, right? 250 is smaller. It would go on this side over here. So B is not correct. All right, you try C. What do you think? Is that going to be in between? So this one has 10 thousandths, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths. So if we make all our place value the same, does it go 3,000, 3,679, 3,670? No, this 9 is bigger than that 0, right? So this would not be the right order either. So that means our answer has to be D, right? But we're going to check it just to make sure, because you know we do make mistakes sometimes. We want to make sure we have it right. You don't just assume that that last answer is correct. So 347 is what we're putting there. Okay, so what is that? Does that look right to you? Do we go 300, 347, 367? Is that in the correct order? Yeah, this is the correct order. That would be in order from least to greatest. So that means this value does go in between 1 and 3/10 and 1 and 367 thousandths. So our answer is D. Okay, I definitely think you can do 4 by yourself. So please pause the video and try to answer number 4 without any help, and then unpause the video and check. Okay, so it's asking us to go shortest to longest. So is that least to greatest or greatest to least? Yeah, it's least to greatest. Definitely least to greatest. And we're going to put our values, line up our values. Okay, we've got a whole of 4. Remember, that's 4 1s. So we put the 4 in the ones place. Make all our place values the same. And then we want least to greatest, least to greatest. Well, 4 is definitely the greatest. So I'm going to cross out B because 4 is not, all the rest of these have 4 at the end. So it could be any of those. Okay, I'm going to cross this out here too so I don't pay attention to it. So I'm looking for the least value. So all those are 3's, and then I have the 2, 1, 3, and 0. So that means 0 is the least. If we're using this, that's 50. 50 is definitely smaller than 350, 184, and 200. So it's going to be 3.05, or 3 5/100. Then 200, 184, 350 would be 184. Would be next. And then 200 or 350. Then 350, and then last would be 4, and that would match with, so 305, 305, so C is incorrect. So A would be our correct answer. So hopefully you got that correct. All right, let's go ahead and flip the page. Number 5 is having us put the decimals on a number line. So it says, Rashawn ran 5 3/4 miles at cross-country track practice. Which of the following represents the distance he ran? So 5 3/4 is what we're looking at, right? So which one of these would match that? Well, I can already tell you right now, this one right here, look at that. 5 8/10. That's the only one that's right above the line, right? So W is definitely not correct because 5 3/4 is smaller, right? So W is not correct. Are there any others that we can eliminate? And we know for sure there's no way that can be the answer. Yeah, look right here. We know that this value is 5, and our number lines go in order from least to greatest, so that means S has got to be smaller than 5, and this is definitely larger than 5, so we can eliminate S as well. And now we just have to decide between T, U, and V. Well, before we can do that, we have to figure out, okay, well, what do these lines represent? Okay, so let's look at our numbers. So we have 5 2/10, then a blank, 5 4/10, blank, 5 6/10. So if I start here, it'd be 5, and then we would do 5 1/10, 5 2/10, 5 3/10, 5 4/10, 5 5/10, 5 6/10, 5 7/10, and it would just keep going, right? So where would 5 3/4 fall? Would it fall here at T, in between 5 3/10 and 5 4/10? Or U, is it almost 5 5/10? Or is it between 5 5/10 and 5 6/10? Well, we can help. We can help ourselves if we put it in the same place value, right? So we're looking at where would this fall, right? So where would I put 5.34? Where would it go? Yeah, it would go right here, right? We would say you would start at 30, then 34 would be next, and then 40 would be after that. So it would fall between 5.3 and 5.4. So our answer would be T. Okay. All right, I hope you learned some stuff about ordering decimals and how to do that in a word problem.